Welcome to the Chick Foley Show.
What is up, Foley fam? We are back with episode 141 of the Chick Foley Show, and this week we are going all in on Summerslam and Takeover 36. It's going to be a great show. We got so much to discuss and some amazing news to recap in the figure world. But let's start by introducing the stars of the show. Sheena, how you doing?
Doing good. I feel like every time now we're doing video, we're trying this YouTube gimmick. It starts the show, it says welcome to the Chick Foley Show. Normally it doesn't matter because it's just audio, but I feel like I should mimic it into the mic. Do a little lip syncing because now people can see me in my
we broke kayfabe. People don't know. Marco can vouch for this. That little half second welcome to the Chick Foley Show intro used to cause so many arguments between me and Sheena because I'm like. I'm really like the, we'll break kayfabe for a minute. I try to just stay low key and just be the host and just pitch the stuff for Sheena and Marco to discuss on here. But behind the scenes, I'm like Vince McMahon. So I'm like really trying to fine tune Sheena, punch it up.
I cannot be
no, not that high. Bring it back down a notch. And we'd end up restarting the show like 5 or 6 times. So that's why we
wouldn't even because we wouldn't even be recording. We wouldn't restart the show. You would make me practice it before the show.
Yeah, that's right.
I would be and then I would get all pissed off and be super sarcastic and be like, "Welcome to the Chick Foley Show."
That's too much energy. You got to bring it down a little bit.
So that's why we went with the permanent solution. We're just doing a pre-tape. Marco, how's life in the new crib up in Massachusetts?
Good. Just preparing for SummerSlam this weekend.
You better get a comfy spot on the couch. I think it's going to be a long show, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with AEW Rampage as well right after. So we'll see
Your
what
butt's
happens.
going to be numb. You need to be doing commercial squats or something. Every time there's an ad, you need to be doing squats to keep your blood flowing.
It's going to be an insane marathon of wrestling this weekend because we got SmackDown and then Rampage on Friday night. We got SummerSlam on Saturday night and then Takeover on Sunday. So anybody that doesn't get their fill of wrestling this weekend, just you need to go check into a rehab center somewhere because you definitely need some help. Sheena, let the listeners know where they can find you. The listeners and the viewers know where they can find you guys on social media.
So you can always find me on Instagram at Chick Foley. You can find Marco running the Twitter machine over at Chick Foley Show. And most importantly, you can join our Foley fam over at chickfoleyshow.com. We recorded, we have our Royal Rumble 93 watch along that is available right now as part of our bonus episodes. And we did part 1 of our best tag team ever episode. We recorded that last night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to drop that probably over the weekend. Not that you won't have enough wrestling to fill your time, but if you're out during the day before all the madness starts in the evening, you want to listen to a little bit of fun tag team talk, then definitely check out our best tag team ever episode part 1.
Yeah, and thanks again to all the premium Foley fan members who voted to help kind of fill out that list. I, for the most part, was riding with you guys on all your picks, but get ready because Sheena, Marco, and Jordan all had some scorching hot takes on some of the spots where you had these teams ranked at. So be ready for that. And then obviously we'll get a little Facebook discussion group going there in the group so we can kind of argue it out exactly where some of these teams should have fell out. Marco, tell us what's going on with the Pod Foundation this week.
Oh man! Besides the Patreon exclusive episode from yours truly, the Chick Foley Show, the content kings I call them, Turnbuckle Tavern just churning out episodes left and right.
I think workhorses, man.
Yeah, they pretty much got the whole week covered right now. So
you need to check out their new shirt. It definitely fits their persona. It says they're Conrad without the cash. So that's definitely they're definitely on that level.
I'm really living vicariously through them because I love doing podcasts. I love doing the unboxing videos and stuff. But having 2 kids who I adore, they're my world. I mean, I wouldn't trade them for anything. That's really the biggest kind of limiter, because they just take up, a lot of you want to put a lot of your time and energy towards them. But I feel like if, I was no strings attached, like the 2 bad Chads, I'd be cranking it out every single night. I'd be watching every second of wrestling possible.
Seth would never leave the podcast booth. He would be talking wrestling with everybody that would talk wrestling with him.
Yeah, I love
it. They're like I said, if you don't hear anything from us, you definitely hear something from the Turnbuckle Tavern. So extra cooler. Their last show was they kind of stepped. It was like an extra credit episode, so they kind of ran with like more of the current things that are going on in the world of wrestling. So no watch along technically, but definitely give it a listen. So obviously, Turnbuckle Tavern they had a debate this week with fellow Pod Foundation member Mike Belcaster joined them. They also had another the Turnbuckle Sessions with the return of Sam
Two-time
Roberts.
guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two-time. I think it's the first two-time in its early inception. The first
And
two-time
shout out to
interview.
Sam and Tom. That episode really ended up turning into a Bret Hart love fest. You know, they went for about 20 minutes talking about just what made Bret so great back then and why his work still holds up. 20 plus years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, the regular episode, episode 64, hit as well, where they recap everything that happened on AEW, as well as everywhere else in the world of indie wrestling, as we like to call it. So, Pod Foundation is churning out the like I said, the content kings and queen.
That's right.
So.
Shane, do we got something going on with our friends at Foot Locker and Foot Action this week?
Oh, yeah. So we got to actually partner, the Chick-fil-A show got to partner with Foot Locker and Foot Action. Once again, they dropped a second capsule collection from their WWE collection. It was curated by Wale and designed by Kaz. So super, super cool collection. It's like very old school, almost got a bootleg feel to it, which I kind of dig. And it's featuring some of Wale's favorite stars from the golden era. You know, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, there's JYD. I think there's Mr. Perfect. But yeah, some good looking t-shirts, and I got a couple of the crew necks. So yeah, definitely check them out. The link is in my stories right now, but you can go and go to Foot Action, and there's a big, link right there on the front to check it out. I'll link it in the bio, and then I'm sure Seth will link it in the show notes as well.
Yeah, definitely. Hit the show notes. I think the tees and crews, everything's still available. So hit it up and support so we can get some more of these really unique drops from Wale and Foot Locker. Sheen, you ready to give away some figures?
We want wrestling in the mainstream as much as possible, dude. So Foot Action and everything's like cranking out wrestling merch and gear, totally here for it.
Definitely. Sheen, you ready to give away this Christian figure?
Let's do it.
All right. I didn't bring him down. He's upstairs.
Oh.
He's upstairs. Yeah, I brought the figure for the next giveaway. Yeah. Anyway, it's the fan takeover, the last figure from Christian, the brand new Impact champion. And we will hit the drum roll.
At Angel 1010-765. Sounds super official.
Cell phone number or what is that? Yeah, I don't know. It's like,
1010-765.
AOL Instant Messenger screen name from like 1997 right there, man.
It really is, yeah. But there's no underscores, which I appreciate. So yeah, at Angel 1010-765, you are the winner of the Fan Takeover Christian. So just hit us up either on Twitter or Instagram. Send us your address, and we will get that shipped out to you ASAP.
Yep. And Sheen, for SummerSlam week, show off the figure we're giving away next week.
Here it is, and it is awesome.
Oh, gosh. It's PG-13 MJF. Yeah, but it is a really, really cool figure. This is from the recent, is that Series 86, I believe? Yeah, Series 86.
Yep, Series 86.
The SummerSlam set for this week. We had to come correct with a SummerSlam figure this week, and that's Miz from his SummerSlam 2018 match with Daniel Bryan. So we're taking it back to the OG giveaway this week. Just send a screenshot of yourself to Sheena on Instagram or Marco on Twitter listening to the show, and you'll be entered. We'll announce the winner at the start of next week's episode. We want to remind you guys to always use code ChickFoley to save 10% at Ringside Collectibles. And I think that about does it for our housekeeping news and notes. You guys ready to get into this SummerSlam preview?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So with the advent of the Foley Picks League, we're kind of going away from the prediction championship, at least for a little bit. Marco is going to be holding that belt for a while until we come up with a new format, because I think we always make a big deal about it on the prediction show, but between the three of us, I don't think we've ever done a great job of recapping. There were some times where we forgot to even mention it the next week, and I would have sometimes listeners would like mention the Facebook group, like, who's the champ now? And we're like, I don't know, man. We always hype it up, but there's no payoff. It was like late era WCW.
It's because I held it for so long. People, they just kind of, just expected me to keep having it. It was like no surprise that I was always the champion.
I also think I kind of killed the gimmick when I just pretty much dusted both of you guys in the Foley Picks League.
Excuse me, it's not even over yet. We have this giant weekend of wrestling, and also I pretty much crawled my way up out of the swamp up to the top with all of you guys. So don't be discounting me, dude.
And because I am such a a kind and giving leader, I rigged it up so everybody still got a shot. There's actually for the dozen or so other members in the league on Facebook group, we're all competing for the cash. I rigged it up so there's I think it ends up being like a 25-point super bonus if you hit every single match right this weekend. So everybody's still alive. If somebody strings together a perfect weekend this weekend, they'll walk away with the crown, and that makes it fun because you want to have
Yeah.
everybody stay in the mix till the end. But let's get into it. We'll start with. I don't even know how this match is going to go. This would probably be better off as a cinematic match, but it's going to be in the ring right there in front of 50,000 people. Eva Marie going up against Alexa Bliss. Sheena, what's your thoughts on this match?
I mean, you guys already know how I feel about Eva Marie. Her mic skills are just terrible. Like, it's very bad acting, and I know
Zero
wrestling is
charisma. So
zero.
she's very
Yeah,
wooden, man.
exactly. I mean, looks like $1,000,000. Looks like she should
Billion
just
bucks.
steal the freaking show. But yeah, she's just like Seth said, she's very wooden, and I just feel like it's not doing it for me. I think Alexa's definitely going to take this one. Alexa beat Dewdrop last week. And it was like there were some, Lily shenanigans. Lily winked at Dewdrop and then she got rolled up. And it's so, so ridiculous at this point. And I love Alexa. Like, this is not a shot at Alexa. And I actually like Piper Niven too. I'm ready for these two to kind of like bust out of this storyline and do something that's actually interesting and meaningful. I hate that Alexa's saddled with this gimmick right now, but I do think she wins this in some turn of events. I'm hoping maybe something magical happens and causes Dewdrop to turn on Eva Marie and maybe brings Dewdrop to the dark side.
Yeah, I mean Lily could always possess Dewdrop and get her
Mhm.
to attack Eva. That would make for some really really good shit, pal.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't pivoted away from this. The response for Alexa was so overwhelming at Money in the Bank. The crowd's still behind her.
Mhm.
People love her. She was very enchanting on her podcast. She's got a great presence on social media, and she's turned into a pretty damn good wrestler in the ring. So people really love Alexa. I don't think she needs. It was cool when she was rolling with the Fiend, but now that Bray and the Fiend is gone, I think we just let her go back to being, Alexa Bliss. And we've never really gotten an extended face run for her either. I think fans
Yeah.
are ready to cheer. We heard it at Money in the Bank. They kind of started booing anytime she was doing like the supernatural shit also. So
Yeah.
I'd be happy for this storyline to wrap up after this. And we see Alexa going back to just doing what she does best, which is being very entertaining week in and week out.
Yeah.
Marco, what do you think, man? Are you hoping to see some Lily shenanigans this Saturday night, or are you ready for the doll to go back in the closet?
I mean, it's SummerSlam. It's one of the biggest events that they have. So you're definitely going to see some Lily shenanigans, and I mean, it tells you something when Lily, the doll, has more charisma than Eva Marie. So
Yeah.
she's pretty
Yeah,
much
you're
carrying.
spot on.
She meaning Lily. I'm like using her as like an actual person, but she's pretty much
Yeah.
carrying the storyline, which is
She really
Marco,
is.
yeah.
dude.
Marco's trying to take my my title as the king of kayfabe, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be the most like
It's got to be
lackluster
a
of all the
pre-show
matches.
match, right?
Yeah,
You would think.
I don't know. The presentation
No,
for
I don't think
Alexa
so.
has been so major, and they've been having her kind of main event Raw some weeks.
Yeah.
So I think this is going on the main show. I just hope we get some sort of payoff to
Yeah.
let's put the Alexa Bliss and Fiend thing to bed. Like
Yeah.
it's just not needed. Alexa doesn't need that to get over.
Yep.
And I do hope we get a
It
figure
limits
because
her.
it
I
is
feel
very
like it really
toyetic.
limits her. Yeah. I want a figure. 100%.
I want a ringside exclusive with the swing set and Lily.
That'd be pretty
with
cool.
Alexa, but yeah, she doesn't need it. I think she's so much more dynamic, and as crazy as it seems, there's actually a lot more depth to the character when she's just regular old Alexa than with
Mhm.
this kind of stupid horror movie thing. I get it. The Fiend was so successful for them that they kind of want to keep something similar to that going, but no, I think it's time to put it to bed. And if this is the end of this storyline and the end of this gimmick for Alexa, I would be all for it.
Yeah.
Let's move to the Raw Tag Team Championship. We got RK Bro, the newly reunited RK Bro, going up against AJ and Amos. Marco, I think there's about a 50-50 chance that this match ends with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton holding up the belts, or with Randy Orton RKO and Matt Riddle again and just leaving him for dead. What do you think, man? How do you see this one playing out?
Oh man, yeah. Just judging, Randy Orton's speech from Monday Night Raw, and, I mean, I think he says he has respect for Riddle. So I
But
mean,
he
well,
hears voices, man.
he does hear
Yeah.
voices, but he already. I mean, uh, it won't be as powerful if he does RKO him again. It's just like he already did
Yeah.
it. It's that kind of takes away, and I think I think they are going to hold the belt up at the end
Dude,
of it.
I think that would get an insane pop if
Oh yeah,
freaking RK Bro wins the belts
Oh
too.
yeah,
There's really no reason for. I mean, I don't find anything interesting about AJ and almost continuing
yeah,
their
me
reign.
neither.
I feel like they need to cash in on RK Bro while it's hot, regardless of which angle they go with. Whether it's Randy turning on, we know Randy Orton's never really had any like long term friendships, So I mean, it's inevitable at some point. But I feel like either way they go, if they hold up the titles at the end of SummerSlam, it's going to be an epic moment.
Yeah, they've been the most overact on Raw over the
Yeah,
Yeah.
past few weeks. The crowd's been popping for them consistently. They got some sweet merch, so I'm all for seeing them have at least a short tag title reign before they eventually feud. And I'm sure those
Yeah.
matches are going to be fire because it's a testament to how talented Matt Riddle is. As kind of shitty as his booking has been on the main roster, I wouldn't say his booking, but just the way they've portrayed
Yeah.
his character, he's
His
still super
character.
over with the fans, and I think
Yeah.
Matt Riddle has the potential to be one of the biggest shining stars of those guys that came up at NXT in 2018, 2019. The dude's he's a beast in the ring, man. And he's super charismatic. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm hoping we have a big moment for RK Bro on Saturday night. And actually think I may end up going and grabbing that T-shirt they have, the black and green one. Very, very cool. It's one of the best shirts that WWE's put out by themselves here in the last couple years. All right, let's go to the United States Championship match. I forget that Sheamus is the U.S. champion. I know that's bad to
Yeah.
say as somebody who hosts a wrestling podcast. Marco, what do you think, man? Is this Sheamus U.S. title reign? Is it doing anything for you, or are you ready to see Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy, take the strap from him?
I mean, I like Sheamus as a champion. I love him as a heel. He's pretty awesome. But that when he had that broken face, that kind of took him out of the the title picture, and he couldn't really defend it. Like he would be on TV.
What about when Ricochet stole his jacket and was Rick O'Shea?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, no, I do enjoy Sheamus. I think he definitely I mean, I know some people think of it as a mid Carter, but obviously he was a world champion at one point. And
I think he's an awesome mid carder. I love Sheamus
Yeah.
in the mid card. He's an ass kicker. His matches are generally pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But that's where he belongs. He belongs as like an entertaining part of the mid card.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's I think it's Damian Priest's time anyway. So I think he's going to walk away.
Maybe
with
maybe
the
Bad Bunny
title.
will return to take out Sheamus.
That
would be a
true
cool moment.
distraction. Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be a cool moment. Behind the scenes, we've heard that they're really kind of booking SummerSlam as this year's WrestleMania, since WrestleMania was kind of, it wasn't a full-fledged WrestleMania this year. So you got to have some moments. It's all about the moments. It's not about the matches. So yeah, if we could it's in Vegas, it makes sense. There's a huge Manny Pacquiao fight going down this weekend too. So yeah, if we could get Bad Bunny to show up. Plus, Miz and Morrison have still been hanging out on the fringes of this storyline. So
Yeah.
maybe we see them get involved. And then could you imagine the pop if Damian Priest's, old friend Bad Bunny shows up?
Yeah, that would be
I hadn't
awesome,
even thought
dude.
about that. But yeah, that was a great idea, Sheen.
Yeah.
Get Vince McMahon on the phone right now. Tell him to make it happen.
It's a good idea, so it probably won't happen.
All right, let's go on to the ladies' side of things. Triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. I don't know what's going on with this title picture. Obviously we saw Nikki. I'm still going to call her Nikki Cross. I just can't bring myself to call her
Yeah.
Nikki Ash. So Nikki Cross cashed in the night after Money in the Bank and won the belt in a pretty cool moment. But since then, we've seen her lose to Charlotte and Rhea. Charlotte and Rhea have kind of both just been spinning their tires going. It's kind of the old, the 50-50 booking that a lot of people have been really critical on WWE for over the last couple of years. But Sheena, who do you see holding up the belt at the end of this one?
I think it's going to be Charlotte, man. I think, breaking kayfabe really quickly, I think it's going to be Charlotte because they're going to try to do anything and everything they can to keep Charlotte because, Andrade's already gone. Ric Flair's already gone. If they lose Charlotte Flair, then, they're going to do whatever they can to keep Charlotte happy.
Yeah.
But, in storyline, Rhea, I love Rhea Ripley, but she just needs there's just something missing. I don't know what it is about her character, but there is just something that is not connecting and something that is just not bringing me the championship vibes. And Nikki, like Seth said, like she's really kind of on the fringes of this storyline. I feel like she doesn't have a chance. So it only makes sense for Charlotte to really kind of like hold the title up at the end of SummerSlam. So
Yeah, you're right. Charlotte's
Yeah.
kind of just been hanging around really for most 2021, whereas Andrade's main eventing Triple Mania, and we all saw Ric Flair's living his best life down in Mexico over the
Yeah,
last week.
he,
So
the funny thing is, he was. You said he was gone. He was on the first train smoking out of WWE. So
he was in the dining car.
wow, wow, he found his way to
For Rhea
catering.
Ripley, man, I think it's still unclear to me. All the years I've been watching wrestling, I feel comfortable calling myself an expert on professional wrestling. I still don't know if she is supposed to be a face or a heel on the main roster.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's been a tweener, but not in a good way,
And
because it's
she's
like
not even a
some
good
weeks,
tweener. That's the thing.
No.
There's some good. There's a good way to be a tweener.
yeah,
but
some
like
weeks she's a
not
baby
it.
face, some weeks she's a heel. I think
Yeah.
they needed to bring her up and just make her a heel, because that's what made Rhea
Yes.
cool at first when she came in
Yes.
NXT. She had that edge, that mean streak. Let the fans hate her for a little bit, and I think ultimately she will be a baby face. But she'll be so much more over if the fans hate her first, and then
Yes.
and then you can turn her eventually. So
I agree with that.
yeah, I agree. I think Charlotte's got to be the one to walk out of here. What do you think, Marco?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's. I mean, it's due. I mean, they gave her the title real quick, and then it was taken away. So I think they just did that just for the fact that every time she won the title and someone won a Money in the Bank, they cashed in on her. It happened to her 3 times already. So I think that was just like a novelty thing that they did. But
Yeah.
I think it's time for them to just give her the title, just to establish some type of order in the women's division right now, because it seems like you guys have said, it kind of seems like they're just kind of lingering around, just waiting for something to happen. There's plenty of women there too. That's the other thing. The other thing is we see the same ladies every week. It seems like I was glad, I was happy to see Naya pop up again.
Well, they've been releasing everybody. It's
Yeah, so
the
yeah, it's true. But yeah, I mean they still. I mean, obviously, like they have Naomi. She's still hanging around. She hasn't been on TV much at all. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely Charlotte's going to be walking out with that belt held high.
All right, so at WrestleMania 5, we had the Mega Powers exploding with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man going for the world title. At Battleground 2016, we had the Shield triple threat between Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. But at SummerSlam 2021, we're getting the match to top them all. 3MB is colliding. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre are going one-on-one. Marco, what's your thoughts on this one?
I mean, we're missing Heath, man. You can't.
We got to have a Heath
3MB.
appearance, man.
Yeah.
Heath popped up at the Bash at Beckley. Shout out to our friends at the Turnbuckle Tavern again. They were at that show last week, and Heath popped up in the Kurt Hawkins, the Brian Myers and Matt Cardona match there. So Heath's around, man. He's available. Like, I feel like they got to have him and Hornswoggle show up. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't, because we already know Veer and Shanky, who I still don't know how they came up with those names. Those guys are banned from ringside. So they've cleared the decks for us to get a 3MB reunion in the middle of the ring. It's got to happen, man.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool if they had him as like a special guest referee or something like that. I mean, he actually made that appearance during the pandemic era when there was like completely empty arenas. Maybe he had that one last shot against Drew, and he had that awesome promo that he cut and everything, which is pretty good.
Oh,
but, yeah. But I've been waiting for this match forever. This is a dream match for me personally. I'm not sure if you could tell my sarcasm through this at all, but no, I'm actually, you know what, I'm actually excited to see Jinder get back in action, because he was a former world champ.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while.
And his matches with Randy Orton were really awesome. I mean, as much as people like to say he was like the worst WWE champion,
he was a good old
really
school
good.
heel champ, man. He was a good old school heel.
Yeah. Obviously he looks amazing. The storyline's been pretty decent with stealing the sword and Drew just making a mockery of his stable, just beating the crap out of them every week. So I'm actually pretty excited to see what they come up with, because I know they're gonna try to not steal the show, but they're gonna make a name for themselves, because Drew has been knocked down a few pegs since last year, where he's not the champion anymore. He's kind of teetering on the mid card status. So I think this match is going to actually help elevate both of these guys. So I'm can't wait to see what they actually do. I can't believe I'm actually making this match like like watchable almost. I'm
Yeah,
actually kind of hyping
we
it
know
up,
they're
which is
close
weird.
friends. They're really close friends in real life as well. So that typically
Hmm.
leads to good chemistry and a good
In-ring
match in the
chemistry.
ring. Ginger's talked about when he won the world championship that Drew was the first one to congratulate him when he came through the curtain.
Yep.
So I'm mildly intrigued to see what they end up doing. What do you think, Sheen? Does Ginger have any chance of walking out of this with the dub?
Um, I mean, there's always a chance. You're saying there's a chance. I don't know though. I feel like Drew has, over the past year and a half, he has way too much steam and momentum, and I just feel like he's gonna beat Jinder. He's gonna make Jinder earn it. You know what I mean?
He's going to hinder the Ginger.
He's gonna hinder the Jinder. Yeah.
All right, let's get back over to SmackDown, the Women's Championship rematch from WrestleMania. Sasha Banks returning to take on the champ, Bianca Belair. Sheena, how do you see this one playing out?
I think Bianca's gonna continue to carry the torch. Sasha has notoriously fallen flat in these big moments. But
Ouch.
I mean, not no shade to Sasha. I love Sasha Banks, but can you say that in her big moments that she always comes out on top? Because that's not normally
She
true.
does got a history of being good on
Yeah.
TV, bad on PPV.
And putting on amazing matches and then just getting beat. So,
Yep.
it's nothing into her, in-ring capabilities or anything like that. It's just the booking has not really ever been in her favor as far as that goes. This match is going to be a banger, no doubt, regardless of the outcome. But unless they're going to do that 50-50 booking like you alluded to earlier, they're going to give it to Sasha this time and then, have a rubber match. But for me, I think Bianca is going to go over this and just continue her reign.
I feel like both of these women have been booked stronger than any of the three ladies in the Raw Women's Championship match.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
what that makes me think is that this match is ripe to have Becky Lynch make her presence felt, whether
Mm.
it's before,
Huh.
during, or after. What do you think, Marco? Are we going to see Becky Lynch come out during the Raw's Women match, or on a segment all on her own?
Man, definitely like to see her appear at the the SmackDown side of things, not so much Raw. I mean, it would definitely help out the Raw ladies if she
Yeah.
did show up. It would bring some. I don't want to say we'll say validity to the championship match. Um, much like we predicted earlier, that Charlotte would win and bring more prestige back to that title. So, but yeah, it'd be pretty awesome. And I think I was watching a interview with Bianca Belair, and she said one of her goals is to pin every single member of the four horsewomen.
Mm.
So she's already
Pretty
pinned
good goal.
Bailey. She's
Yeah.
already pinned Sasha. So just Charlotte and
Two more to
Becky
go.
are left. Yeah.
She's going for the big dogs now, though. I mean, Sasha or Charlotte and Becky, dude. Those are they're the queen of the mountain. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, she has a
that's a
skill
big
set.
ask.
Yeah. I mean, she has a skill set to do so. I mean, size, speed, strength. I mean, she's like pretty much the
Her and
perfect
Charlotte would be epic just
superstar.
because they're both so strong and so athletic. I just feel like the sky would be the
Yeah.
limit for those two.
Yeah, one of the things actually I just thought of something when you said the SmackDown ladies are booked stronger. They have a lot more mic time if you've noticed. So like obviously you'll see Nikki Ash. She'll do those like pre talks before she
Pre-tape.
goes out to the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah.
Charlotte will have her promos, but would you ever see Rhea get in the ring and actually
Well,
have
yeah, Vince hates accents. Maybe that Kiwi New Zealand accent's too strong for him, man. But
well?
yeah,
And I,
I
you're
love
right. On
Rhea's
Raw, it
accent.
has been much more centered around just various combinations of the women fighting each other, as opposed to
yeah, not
Sasha
so
and
much
Bianca's been all
talking.
about the mic work.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that helps out a lot. Like you said, there's something missing
Yeah.
with Rhea, and I think it's just her being open and honest, and being more vulnerable to the
Well,
WWE
and she's going
universe.
against, not backtrack. I'm not trying to backtrack, but going against Charlotte, who is just, I mean, she just screams heel. She's oozing
Yeah.
heel from every pore of her body. And then you have Rhea, who looks like she would be a heel, but she's kind of playing this weird, like, I will do some like crooked, shady shit to beat you, which is kind of
Yeah.
heelish, but I'm kind of a baby face too, like it just doesn't work.
She's
Whereas
in
like,
that.
yeah, I feel
She's in
like
that
Bianca
Roman.
and Sasha have very defined like roles,
Yeah.
like heel and baby face.
Yeah, Rhea's in that Roman 2016 limbo right there, where it's
Yes.
like that
Yeah.
she's being pushed, but it's what do they
It's
want
not
her to be?
connecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could actually see going back to Becky Lynch. I think that could be a cool way to just start the show. You know what I mean? To really just send a lightning bolt through that
Mm.
live crowd. Like, do the SummerSlam intro, and then we start the
Yeah.
show by hitting Becky Lynch's music. And she wouldn't need to do much. It's going to be such a moment when she finally does come back. Come out, cut a quick promo, and then maybe we see her, maybe we don't see her the rest of the night. But I think that would be a great way to just really kind of set the table for the rest of the night. Let's go to our second tag team championship match for the SmackDown title. Sheena, do you think the Mysterios will be able to grab the belts back from the Usos?
I hope not. I really like this. The family having all the gold or whatever. But I just feel like, and I mean, I'm not really huge on Ray and Dominic as a tag team. It's all right, but I'm definitely pulling for the Usos on this one. I'm hoping that they get a big win here, and it kind of brings back ignites a little bit of excitement back into the Roman and the family
The
storyline. You know
Roman
what I mean?
verse. That's what I like to call it.
The Roman verse.
The Roman
The
verse.
last few weeks, they've really been highlighting Ray kind of teaching Dom. He's the Yoda to Dom's Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Typically in wrestling, these stories end in one way, with the student finally turning on the master.
Uh-huh.
Marco, what do you think, man? Do we see the Dom heel turn happen right here?
I've been seeing that a lot. A lot of people in the Twitterverse have been thinking that Dominic is going to turn on his dad. But I mean, I just want to see
his dad. We still
We know who his
he's
real
got a
dad
frog
is.
splash
His
for a
dad.
finisher, man, and he's way taller than Ray, man. So
yeah. So I mean,
I don't know, bro.
that's it. That's still up in the air. We need more to set
But
that
what do you
straight.
think? Do we see? Do we? I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. Are we gonna see Dom turn heel Saturday night?
I, if he does turn heel, it's not going to be like him just like violently beating the crap out of his father. It's going to
What do you think
be
he's gonna do? Just start crying?
turning his
and
back on
say,
him.
you never loved me or something?
Yeah, that type of thing. Like maybe maybe Ray takes the pin, and then Dom gets frustrated, and then like the next night he
You
comes
can
on.
keep your
Dad, you're too
Gucci
old.
and your Louis.
Yeah,
Get your ass back to Rodeo Drive.
You never loved me.
I was supposed to go to college, but you were buying Louis scarves. Here I am wrestling. I could have had an education.
You and
All
your
right.
Louis masks that you wear
Yeah.
every week. But no, I think I just want to see Dominic fly solo. Personally, I don't want to see him in a tag team with his. It was cool when they first won the tag team titles, but
And I think he needs to be a heel. I don't know what it is. I
Yeah,
think it's just
I think
because
so,
he
too.
appears like such a little baby because we know he's like Ray's son. To me, he feels like a little boy. I feel like he needs to really like turn up the heel energy to kind of like create his own, persona. Whereas like, Ray is just like this beloved baby face. And we need heel Dominic.
I
Yeah,
think
I'll
so.
go full heel and just say that I don't think Dom works without Ray. So I think when he does
Wow.
turn heel, it's probably eventually happening. I think that's going to be the end of Dom's career in WWE, because I
Oh,
think
wow.
Yikes.
I think
Ouch.
he turns heel. I think you could do a cool storyline where him and Ray have a one-on-one match. But the he's been wrestling for a year now, and it's just not there for me, man. I don't think he's going to be a superstar
He's not the
on his
next
own.
coming of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, unless he's in a tag team, or unless Rey Mysterio is right by his side, or he's actually wrestling Ray, I don't see Dom working on his own.
Wow.
And I'll stand by that. So
I don't think
we're-
that's a super hot take. It just hurts my heart a little bit. I hate like I feel like I'm bullying him because he's like a little boy,
Yeah.
And I know
he's
he's
like
not a little
26,
boy.
I think.
I
Man.
know,
So
but
he's
I
a grown ass
mean,
man. I mean, I
still.
feel bad saying it. I typically don't say it, but we got to maintain credibility. So I'll just put it out there that I don't think Dom works as a solo act. Let's get to the first of what I'm going to call the triple main event, because it's really three big matches that this show centered around. The WWE Championship. We got Bobby Lashley going up against Goldberg. I saw a interesting stat on Reddit today. You guys realize that Goldberg, his run as a nostalgia act for WWE, is now approaching 5 years long, which was actually longer than what his original run in WCW was. So he's been a nostalgia act
Oh,
for longer than
wow.
he was an
Huh.
actual like main event attraction
my
in
gosh.
WCW at this point, because it was November
Also,
2016
that
at
it's been
Survivor Series
5
when he came
years
back.
since he came back. That just seems
Yeah,
wild.
3 months
man.
from now. It was SummerSlam 2016. You guys remember the main event was Brock and Randy Orton, and Brock busted Randy open, and the crowd was actually chanting for Goldberg there in Brooklyn. They had the Goldberg chant going, thinking he was
Huh.
going to come out and save the day.
Hmm.
obviously we didn't get to that point until about 3 months later. But yeah, Goldberg's now been a nostalgia act in WWE for longer than he was
That's
a main
insane.
eventer in
What a
WCW.
stat.
Marco, I'm kicking it to you first, man. This is the big hoss fight. Bobby Lashley versus Bill Goldberg. Is there any chance that we see Goldberg win the WWE Championship on Saturday?
Oh man. I mean, I hope not. I don't. I personally don't see the Almighty era coming to an end at the hands of Goldberg. That's just in my own opinion. I mean,
I don't know,
I could be
man.
wrong.
There's been some
but
cracks in the facade with him and MVP. They haven't been getting along. I think the wild card on this one is Big E with that briefcase, man. Sheena, you think any chance we see
well,
Big E actually cash in
he
during or
does.
maybe after this match?
He doesn't have the briefcase. Baron Corbin stole it
Oh
from him.
yeah, I think that'll resolve itself. You
Yeah,
know.
I
Yeah,
think we see some sort of backstage skit on Saturday
Yeah.
night
and
or
he'll get it
possibly even
back.
Friday. We still got an episode of SmackDown also for him to get it back. That's a
I would
technicality.
love to see it. I would honestly, so I would love to see Goldberg beat Bobby Lashley and just like the crowd, the crowd is going to be like WTF, man, like this is BS. And then Big E come out and then all their heads just explode and then him win the
Well,
WWE
I mean,
championship.
he his dream match is to have a match with Goldberg. So
Yeah.
if you listen to the New
I
Day
would
pod,
love that because I feel like that would, it would be okay for Bobby Lashley to lose that way if Big E ends up coming out
yeah.
on top.
Other than that, if they don't have any plans for Big E to cash in, I mean, you can't end the
It's the
Almighty era.
perfect time, dude. I feel like this is the perfect time for Big E to cash in. So
Yeah,
I'm over Lashley. Lashley should have lost that
yeah.
belt to Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, man.
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
Big E cash in. I don't really care who wins, honestly. I have grown to appreciate Bobby Lashley a little bit over the last 6 or 7 months. I want to see Big E cash in before the match starts and just a triple threat between these two guys. It doesn't need to be longer than like 6 or 7 minutes. I just want to see a
Yeah.
straight up hoss fight between these three guys. Just, a lot of man meat just slapping together, man, and see how it shakes out and who walks out with a belt.
I know.
But
I want the surprise. I want I want him to just ruin Goldberg's day. I feel like that would be the best
ouch.
storied ending. You know what I mean? I just want him to
Yeah.
like come out and just like squash Goldberg after a hard fought match with Bobby Lashley. I feel like that's the way to go. That's gonna send the crowd
Where's this
home
Goldberg
happy.
hate coming from?
I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Goldberg, but
Well, I'd hate to hear what it sounds like if you were trying to hate on Goldberg. Then
I'm loving on Big E. That's what I'm doing. So maybe it feels a little harsh toward
Yeah.
Goldberg, but
No, I mean, you know me. I'm a big proponent of Goldberg. I love Goldberg. I just don't want him to be the one to end the Almighty era. Like I said,
Yeah.
for me, that's my own personal thing.
because I mean, where's it going to go? What's going to happen after SummerSlam? I don't see Goldberg hanging around for a long time after
Yeah.
SummerSlam, and it really is going to not be as exciting or as cool if Big E cashes in, after the fact. Like if he cashes in
Yeah,
on,
it has to
on
be.
the weekly show or something like that, or some C-level pay-per-view. I feel like that's going to be lame. So
see, I think it could actually be cool if Big E just did the ultimate babyface move and cashed in like 2 weeks in advance. Like I don't know. I think
it's too late for that.
Night of Champions generally is like the follow up
Oh,
show
Night of Champions. Okay.
Yeah.
SummerSlam. So yeah, say hey, I'm cashing in at Night of Champions or Clash of Champions, whatever we're calling it nowadays. Say hey, I'm cashing in and I'm gonna get my shot at the belt and give us a couple weeks to all get behind Big E. You could get. If he's back on Raw, he'll have Kofi and Xavier back with him, and
Yep.
let's see Big E
That just
take on
gives
Lashley.
WWE too much time to like miff the storyline. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
if he announces it ahead of time, it's gonna give like they're gonna start thinking too hard about it, and they could really really mess it up. Whereas like if it's like a heist of the century style,
Yeah.
It's already happened, and then they have to figure it out afterwards. They have to figure out what they're going to do with the champion Big E afterwards. Versus like they could really f things up and then make the crowd not excited. I mean, not that nobody would not be excited to see Big E become the champion, but it could make it not as big of a moment as it has potential to be.
Yeah.
Right.
And I kind of want him riding solo. I mean, I love New Day. I love all three of them together, but I think they should just keep the momentum going. And if he does win the title at some point, that he should just be by himself and just have those guys for support. I don't need him back with the New Day, and now they're a 3-man team again, and he's kind of not lost in the shuffle, but I just want him
Did they
to be
come
on his
out
own.
whenever Kofi won? Did they come out to the ring?
Yeah, they were down there. Don't
Yeah,
remember
they were out
presented
there.
I
Kofi.
just can't remember. I couldn't
Because remember, Daniel
yeah.
Bryan had the he was rocking the the Planet's championship,
Oh, that's
and New
right.
Day
Yeah.
presented Kofi with the brand new WWE
Right.
belt that already had Kofi's side plates on it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they brought Kofi's kids in the ring and all that stuff. So yeah,
Oh,
they were
yeah,
there
that's
with him the
right.
whole
Okay.
time. They didn't interfere; they were just at ringside cheering him on.
So
What a
yeah, I
moment!
think if he does win, then I mean the New Day's definitely gonna be there, dude.
Oh yeah,
They've been
definitely.
rolling together this long, so yeah, they're gonna come out and have an in-ring moment.
Yeah, they got to come out and help him celebrate, and then turn on him. Swerve, bro.
Oh my
Kofi and Xavier take
god.
out
Talk
Biggie,
about
and
talk
then we
about
get Kofi going against Biggie.
talk about a
I'm
roller
always down
coaster
for
of
the heel
emotions,
turns,
dude.
man.
Freaking so Goldberg wins, the crowd is pissed off. Biggie comes out, cashes in, the crowd goes back high. Then freaking New Day comes out, everybody's having an
Takes it
emotional
even
moment.
higher, and
Takes it
then
even
Yeah.
Kofi
higher,
and
and then
Xavier
the
turn heel on
turn
him.
freaking come crashing down, dude. Can you imagine? I want to. I'm like envisioning the camera shots of the crowd's faces as this happens. Wow.
Yeah, it's got to happen. All right. This is the match that I'm personally most excited for. It's about 7 years in the making. Seth Rollins versus Edge. Seth, when he first turned heel and won the Money in the Bank briefcase shortly after, he had so many comparisons to Edge with the old Ultimate Opportunist gimmick. Edge had the Money in the Bank briefcase. He was the first one that really showed what the Money in the Bank briefcase was all about. So these guys got a lot of parallels to each other. There was that crazy angle back in 2014 where Seth brought the authority back by threatening to kill Edge. Pretty much, he said he
Yeah,
was going to
he was
break
gonna
his
break
neck,
Edge's
and
neck.
Yep.
John Cena begged for mercy or whatever. So these guys got some history. Marco, how do you see this one playing out? Rollins versus Edge on probably the biggest stage of 2021 in the wrestling world.
Unfortunately, I don't see this as a clean win for either one. I think this is going to continue on. So I think there's going to be a few more matches between them. So I see this as like maybe like a double disqualification
So you think
or
this is going to be the
count
first
out.
stop?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you can't. Their money. I mean, Edge and Seth. You can't just have a one-off match between these two.
Yeah.
It really depends on what how Edge is feeling physically and stuff like that. But I could see this going on for a few more matches, at least kind of like a trilogy. So like how they did with Randy Orton and Edge. I could see that definitely happening with Edge and Seth, and then they'll probably throw in the Universal title stakes for that at some point. Yeah, just to give it some more flavor, essentially. But yeah, I think this match is going to be, like I said, much to everyone's dismay, not a clean win for either one. It's going to be either like I think Seth is going to be the one that get disqualified, and he's just going to go off the rails and use a chair or something like that, and then just completely kick the crap out of Edge. And then that'll fall into the next match or whatever the next pay per view is. I think
Yeah,
you think it's Clash of Champions, right?
I tend to agree. This feud has had so much heat behind it, really even kind of before they kickstarted it last month at Money in the Bank. There was so much time between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam that I thought eventually we would work up to either like Extreme Rules or Steel Cage or Hell in the Cell, some sort of gimmick being put on this to really make it the end all be all. The fact that it's not any sort of gimmick match, I tend to agree with you. I think this is going to be the first match of a series because it
I
feels
agree.
like they need something bigger than just a straight up one-on-one to kind of blow this one off. What do you think, Sheen? What's your thoughts on Seth going up against Edge?
Yeah, I think this is going to carry on for a while. Just the current, title picture. It doesn't really make sense for Seth to win this and go on to immediately face Roman Reigns at this point. I feel like it needs to
Whoa,
build.
whoa, 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 whoa! We ain't gonna talk about Seth losing. Now Seth might get DQ'd. Seth's not
Yeah.
gonna lose though. Seth is beating this old fuck.
No,
I
I
believe
meant
that.
no. I was just saying that if I was saying if Seth wins,
Yeah.
Okay.
it doesn't make sense for him to go on. So yes, I definitely agree with both of you guys that some sort of shenanigans are going to ensue. And yeah, I'm not gonna speak ill of Seth Rollins on this podcast. I don't know that I've done it in the almost 3 years we've been running this podcast. So even during the eye popping era, I don't feel like I was bagging on Seth Rollins. I was still defending him. So you know.
All right. It's time for the main event. This is the biggest match WWE's put on in a while. Shortly after WrestleMania, there was Dave Meltzer had reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that behind the scenes in WWE, they really had 4 big money matches in mind for Roman with this current run that he's on. One was against Brock Lesnar, against Seth Rollins, against The Rock, and against John Cena. That was kind of the 4 matches that they had outlined that have to happen on this current run that he's on, and we're getting the first of those 4 this Saturday night. It's a rematch from No Mercy 2017. It's John Cena's first match since WrestleMania 36. So over almost 2 years, over a year and a half since John Cena was last in action, and he's going to be taking on Roman Reigns at the height of his powers. It's a year since Roman returned. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than this. These guys, I think there's some real life heat behind the scenes. You know, Roman was the guy who kind of took Cena's spot as the top guy in WWE. They're going at it one-on-one for the most prestigious championship in professional wrestling. Sheena, how do you see this one going down?
I mean, I'm always going to be at this point in time. You are silly to jump off the Reigns train. So I mean, he's been just running roughshod through the WWE. It's the like you said, the Roman verse, the Roman era, Thunderdome.
We're just
Rome.
living in it.
Yeah, we're all just living in it. Exactly. Cena's here for a good time. He's not here for a long time. You know, his schedule.
Shout out
super
to Hillbilly
full.
Jim.
Yeah, his schedule's super full of like A-list celebrity shit right now. So being the Universal Champion is not on that agenda. So having Roman lose this epic run that he's been on for a little short stint from John Cena really makes no sense at all. Unless, and this is a huge unless, WWE's feeling like super petty. And they have a tendency to be, and they just want to like stick it to Ric Flair. And since he's no longer with the company, you know, make John Cena the definitive world title record holder.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I hadn't even thought about that, man. Yeah,
So,
that would be
possibility.
super petty. You could have him win it and then have Big E cash in, then you know, and just
Yeah.
send Cena back to Hollywood, and you know, Roman could win the belt back next month. I hope that's not the case, though.
I hope it's
feel
not true.
like,
Yeah.
I think Roman's got to win. Marco, do we see the Usos get involved, or do you think Roman's going to go over clean on Cena for the second time?
I think he's going clean. I hope we don't see any Uso shenanigans happening, because that would only lead me to believe that he's going to lose, essentially, because you know Cena's just going to attitude adjustment both of those guys, leave them outside of the ring and just finish Roman Reigns off, which we don't want to see. So I'm hoping they don't interfere, but I definitely see.
And I just think Cena. I don't know, his presentation this whole time. It was cool to see him come back. Like you guys know, like I used to love Cena. But I feel like he has not evolved one iota since he left. Like he has no new characteristics. Like he still is doing the same thing. He doesn't approach Roman like he's been watching TV for the last year, which we all know. Like John Cena's a psychopath. He probably hasn't been watching WWE the last year, but it's like he was talking to a Roman from like years past. You know, like his promos did not reflect the Roman Reigns that we have seen in the past year and a half. Like it felt like he was talking to like, you know, post-Shield Roman, like, you know, post-WrestleMania 31, 32 Roman, you know, like it just didn't have the same effect, you know. Like I feel like he should have like looked at him like an equal, whereas he was just trying to be like all jokey and hokey and kind of like play it like super cool with Roman. And I'm like, bro, you're stepping into the freaking, you know, Shark Tank right now.
Yeah, he brought that up on that first promo he did, Roman Reigns, and he, you know,
same old thing.
Said, same old thing. Missionary. That's
missionary.
What he comes
that
out.
Don't
John
motivate
Cena's
us.
Missionary.
We don't get motivated by that. Not the tribal chief, not the head of the table.
Nope, definitely not Ric Flair either. But so you have to. I think that was like the whole part. I think that was like the main meat of the storyline, is just basically, you know, seeing him as the same person he was, and I think when SummerSlam happens, he's gonna find out that it's not the same Roman Reigns.
It's like Cena's like the modern day like Hulk Hogan. Like he's got his gimmick, he's got it down to. He's like, it's an art form. You know what I mean?
He's not
It's like innately within him. Yeah, well, he's not the real
we'll
American.
Leave it at that.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't speak.
I mean,
won't get political on here, but it's but anyway, I just feel like he just like pulls it out. Like it's like just like an act for him. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't really adjusted at all to the current time. So
I'll keep it real, man. Like I really loved John Cena up until a couple months ago. I want to see Roman just squash this guy. This feels like it should be a real passing of the torch moment.
I think so.
We should see Roman beat this guy clean, 1, 2, 3, center of the ring to just really establish himself as
Yeah,
the tribal chief, the leader of the current generation of WWE, and it's going to make it that much more special when whether it's Big E, whether it's Seth Rollins, whether it's Matt Riddle, whoever it ends up being, once they finally dethrone Roman, it's going to make it that much more of a bigger deal. The fact that Roman beat
agree.
Cena clean 1, 2, 3. Well, let me give you guys both, final call. Sheena, what do you think? Roman or Cena? Who's standing tall at the end of SummerSlam?
Roman.
Marco?
Reigns.
All right. We acknowledged him.
Drop by and visit the Turnbuckle Tavern, where every Thursday we give you the most in-depth analysis of all things AEW, as well as dive into Impact Wrestling, NWA, and all things indie.
If you like heated debates, compelling interviews, and a shot of nostalgia, you'll love the Turnbuckle Tavern. Available on Apple and Spotify.
Drink it in. It always goes down smooth.
I love that Turnbuckle Tavern. I don't know why. It just makes me feel all...
Drop by.
So,
I like
so
it
nice
much
you
I
want
had
to hit
play
it twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, the Chads just they sound so good on the mic. They have perfect podcast voices. So we went almost an hour on this 10-match SummerSlam card. We want to switch it up for NXT. We're going to do our new Royal Rumble segment. It's going to be based around Takeover 36. So I'm going to give Sheena and Marco each one match, and they got 30 seconds to give us a prediction and just their overall take on it. So I got my trusty iPhone here. I'm going to be keeping the time on them, and they've each got 30 seconds. You guys ready to go?
Let's go.
All right, Marco,
Let's do it.
you're going first. We got LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes for the third time. This is for the $1 Million Championship. And if LA Knight wins, Ted DiBiase has to be his butler for 30 days now. So they're really going all in on this storyline. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is it. This is the end of the whole Knight Grimes finale, and I'm going with Grimes. I think Grimes is going to win the title. He's going to save $1 Million Man from being LA Knight's butler, and that's the end of it. Especially after that fiery promo that Grimes had this past Tuesday. There's no way he's losing this match at all. I made it just in time. See that? I'm getting good at this.
All right, Sheena, you're up. This is the female equivalent of Shawn Michaels and Diesel breaking up.
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez defending the NXT Championship against Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is finally getting her title match on Takeover. You got 30 seconds to give us your thoughts on this match. Go.
So Dakota is just jealous that every person that she's ever partnered with has become a bigger star than her.
She's the sidekick.
She's the sidekick, dude. Freaking Raquel has beat Mia Yim. She's beat Rhea, Tegan Nox, Shotzi, and Io freaking Shirai. So there's no way that little pink-haired shrimp is going to be taking out Big Mommy Cool. So I'm rolling with, and still, your NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez.
All right. I tend to agree storyline wise. Raquel's been booked so strong she should win, but I feel like she's about to be main roster bound. The main roster's getting so thin, especially on the SmackDown side of things, and I feel like she could be a shot in the arm. So I don't know. I'm not sure who it could be. It could be somebody from developmental, somebody that we don't even know exists right now. I feel like Dakota Kai is going to get somebody new to come in and help her out to win that belt. But we'll see. Should be a good match though. I'm rooting for Dakota. Just not so much her in-ring character, just behind the scenes, because she's been in NXT for freaking ever, dude. And
I like Dakota.
me
breaking
too.
kayfabe. Yeah, I like Dakota. I was just cutting my promo because I really like Raquel. Again, she's been booked so
she's
strong.
a badass,
She's totally my type. Just big, strong brick shithouse badass. Like love her.
All right, Marco, we got you a juicy one coming up next, man. Match of the Year contender from 2020. Walter defending his NXT UK championship. He's had it almost 2.5 freaking years now.
Yeah.
And he's defending it in a rematch against Ilja Dragunov. Give us your thoughts.
Man, if you see there the televised match you're definitely in for a treat because I think they're going to go all out since they're actually on on a main pay per view doing this match. So I'm pulling for Dragunov to win this. I think Walter. I think actually Walter's main roster bound. The Imperium cohorts did not win the NXT Tag Team Championships this past Tuesday, so that leads me to believe that Walter is going to follow suit and lose his as well.
Wow. So you think it's coming to an end at TakeOver 36?
I think so. I think Dragunov's due for a title reign.
We hate to see it, but we also love to see it. So
yeah, I agree. I don't really know what else Walter could do with that belt at this point. He's had it so long, and I feel like he could actually, if they book him the right way, he could be a legit contender to Roman for his championship.
Yeah,
Walter's he's so good at just the presence part of wrestling.
Good shout. Yes, exactly. He's got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, Sheen. Samoa Joe's first match in almost a year and a half, going up against Karrion Kross, who definitely seems main roster bound.
Yeah.
Who is going to win this match?
So for those of you who know, Samoa Joe and I have a storied history. And despite spending years kayfabe wishing the worst for Samoa Joe, I'm here to say that I'm happy to hear that this Joe is going to kill you chant. And I wish for nothing more than for Joe to become the new NXT World Champion and just choke the life out of Karrion Kross and send him back into the main roster.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Joe.
All right. Marco, we're leaving the main event for you.
Oh,
they haven't advertised this as a 3 stages of hell match for whatever reason, but if it's a 2 out of 3 falls match and you got a different gimmick on each match, I'm calling it a 3 stages of hell match. So not to mention this is the undisputed finale, very likely Adam Cole's last match in WWE. Who is going to win this last match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole?
Man. Oh man, I think I'm gonna go with O'Reilly on this one. I think it's only right that he's the one that ends Adam Cole if this is his last match in NXT, and he sets him off into either the main roster or wherever he goes after that. There's another place he can go where he has a girlfriend and some friends that he can go see. But I think O'Reilly's taking this.
Yeah, I tend to agree. They're good friends in real life, so you got to figure Adam Cole was probably like happy to do the favors for Kyle O'Reilly on his way out the door. All right, Sheena, last question of the Royal Rumble segment. We got AEW Rampage this Friday night in the United Center, the house that Michael Jordan built, Chicago, Illinois, the hometown of one of the most beloved pro wrestlers of the 21st century. It's going to be the biggest crowd in AEW history. Rampage, the first dance. Will CM Punk debut? And should we care?
So I'm hoping this is just the biggest troll job in wrestling because although I love AEW, I would love nothing more than to see the Punk-loving fans just have a freaking whiny-ass meltdown when they're yet again disappointed by the leader of the Troll Patrol, CM Punk. The location being Chicago, and then you got Darby saying the best in the world reference, Kenny with the Cookie Monster shirt, just leaving breadcrumbs all the way up to MJF coming out to Cult of Personality. It would just be magical.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, not sorry, but Punk does nothing for me.
I have to add to this because
we can talk about this one for a minute.
It's a 10 o'clock time slot for possibly the biggest return ever if he does show up. How does that help out Punk and AEW?
Well, the ratings were good last Friday night. I can't remember what they were off the top of my head, but I know the ratings were really solid, and they're trying to establish a new show. But I agree, it would make a lot more sense to tease it, and make people buy the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? You got a pay-per-view coming from the Chicago area here in a couple weeks. So from a business sense, I could see it. I think it would be funny because
people are going to be watching this. So like if you have CM Punk show up on this, and then you would really sell the pay-per-view because people are going to know he's going to be on the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Yep. So it would be like,
I don't matter, but
I kind of agree with you, Sheen, though. I'm not a CM Punk fan. I'm really not. The bitterness he showed towards pro wrestling and more specifically just his fans, he seemed like he was kind of just, I feel like he was kind of just rude to his fans over the last 7 years since he left WWE. I don't know. I could really give a fuck less if he comes back or if he doesn't come back. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
think
I
it'd
agree.
be
Like pro
hilarious if
wrestlers don't owe their fans any. It's whatever. Like you don't owe the fans anything. Like you can do whatever
no,
you
I think
want.
you
But it
do owe the
doesn't. I'm
fans
not gonna.
something
I'm
though.
not gonna freaking be like, oh, like I'm not just gonna be like, we're not worthy. We're not
Yeah.
worthy. Yeah, when it's just like he's trolling and talking shit and just being kind of like an asshole to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, remember people out there. He turned his back on
Even on his
wrestling.
friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
and on
I
his
mean,
friends.
his like
yeah,
real
so, I
life
mean,
shoot
Cabana,
friends.
yeah.
Yeah, so I
I'd
mean,
say I think it would be hilarious if they hype up a big appearance from a major superstar. I think it was I can't remember if it was Dougie Nunya or Vince in the Facebook group that posted hype it up, and then Friday night at the end of the show, just Cody comes out to his
That's what I don't-
normal
that-
big
that's-
entrance.
that's what I don't get. I mean, it's an hour show. Like
It does seem
How many-
like for as big of a moment as a CM Punk return has been made out to be by the internet wrestling community, an episode of Rampage seems a little
don't know.
a little light.
Yeah, that's what I
because
mean.
It's a step
Rampage
up
feels
from
like,
his it's a step up from his talking smack appearance when he like came back as the big surprise on
yeah, people didn't.
yeah.
what was that? It
Yeah.
wasn't talking smack then. It
Whatever
was something
that
else.
short-lived
It was,
WWE show on Fox Sports was, I can't remember what it was called either.
Yeah.
I forget what it was
Everybody's
called.
like,
yeah, to
Punk
me,
is back.
I feel like I feel like Rampage is like the Sunday Night Heat of AEW, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's an extra
Yeah.
hour wrestling every week, but it does seem a little light for the debut of CM Punk. So I don't know. I really don't care. If CM Punk never came back, I would be fine with it. I'm sure it'll
Yeah.
be interesting if he does
If he
come
comes
back.
back, exactly. If he comes back, I'm happy for the people that like him and want to see him and pop for that. It's gonna do nothing for me personally. So
Yeah.
again, I can be happy for you without really giving a shit for myself.
I mean, I've seen people throwing out the theory that he might show up at SummerSlam. That would be the biggest swerve, that he actually re-signed with the WWE.
Now that
and he shows
would,
up at like the Universal
that would be
Championship
interesting.
match, or because it will be because of the summer of Punk. It was
Yeah.
in
It was
ROH
10 years ago.
in 2005. Yeah, same thing with John Cena. He had that thing, and what but better way to come back and interrupt and have John Cena lose or something like that, and
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty epic if that happened. But
That would be.
I don't think he's
Yeah,
returning.
that'd be the swerve of the century if that happened. But no, I think
yeah,
from all intents, it sounds like him to AEW is a done deal. There's already AEW
Yeah.
merch at the Pro Wrestling Tees store in Chicago with the CM Punk logo on it. So I think it's just a matter of if we see him at Rampage or if they make us wait until All Out. Let's have a drink. All right, Sheena, you can start it off this week. What are you sipping on?
So I'm sipping on a High Wire Goes. It is an ale brewed with coriander and pink Himalayan sea salt, tart and refreshing. It's really good. I've really been into like the sours and the goses
Definitely.
this summer. So I'll be transitioning to all my fall beers here pretty soon.
I hate the pumpkin beers.
Not necessarily pumpkin, but like some ciders, some really
I
good.
like the ciders. Yeah, we got some pineapple cider out in the fridge right now.
Yeah,
that I
and
haven't even
then
cracked
they
yet.
got like the Pungo, like a large local brewery does some really good fall Halloween inspired
I like the
beers
stouts,
and stuff. So
like the s'more stout, something like that, everything. But the
so I'm
pumpkin
closing
beers.
I'm closing out
love them.
the remainder of the summer past Summerslam with some tart refreshingness. But I do have my Halloween koozie here. For those of you who are watching, you can see it's my Halloween. It's by Little Shop of Gore. If you're not following them and you like creepy stuff, definitely these are like handcrafted, hand painted. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I just love their shit. So yeah,
They look great, and they're badass koozies. Also, they're super thick, so they're gonna keep your beer cold.
yeah.
I made it an IPA night. I started off with Three Notch Brewery's Juicy IPA. I got to be honest, this wasn't as juicy as I wanted it to be. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
But yeah, I think it's because I've been getting on the New England hazy IPAs, and those are like straight orange juice or like grapefruit juice. So this is just like a regular traditional IPA that's just advertised as juicy or whatever. Wasn't really that. It was good, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So I had to chase it with Broken Skull IPA, which always hits the spot. This is
can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, this is number 2 behind Miller Lite for my absolute favorite beer in the world. So it's going down smooth, and I'm loving it. Marco, what are you drinking?
You gotta go with the Love and Wrestling.
All summer long, man.
We're talking wrestling. I mean, just much like Sheena, I might definitely like to switch over to the. There's a beer called Pumpkinhead. that we have around here. It's a pumpkin beer, so we'll
Yeah.
probably be switching to that soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to start dabbling in all the fall selections that are coming out. I've already seen them. I've held off. I haven't bought any yet. So I'm gonna wait. Probably September
Yeah.
1st. That's when I'm gonna start, stocking the fridge with some fall selections.
I mean, it's Halloween already.
Yeah, it's
here.
basically Halloween.
Once August 31st hits,
Yeah, if you go to like a
know-
Lowe's or a Home Depot right now, they have all of their Halloween stuff.
yeah, it's already set. I mean, Salem's gonna be crazy, so get ready for all those people just walking around in costumes like it's just regular clothes, which is pretty fascinating sometimes. But yeah.
All right, let's hear it from our good friend Pyramid Wrestling.
Check out the Pyramid Wrestling Podcast. Each week, we dive deep into all things wrestling action figures. From AEW Unrivaled, WWE Mattel Elite, our childhood WWF, WCW, ECW collections, and more. You can also find Pyramid Wrestling on YouTube. That's Pyramid Wrestling, available everywhere you listen to podcasts.
And if you guys happen to watch AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night, if you see a psychopath in the front row with the Sting face paint going nuts, singing Judas in the main event, that's our good buddy. He was there. He had the Galoob Sting face paint with the Galoob inspired Pyramid Wrestling T-shirt on that you can find on ProWrestlingTees.com. That was our good friend. So shout out to Scott. I just cracked up. Like I saw him and I was like, hey, there's a guy in a Pyramid Wrestling shirt. And then I went to his IG and he's like, yeah, I saw in the story that he was there in the house. So pretty cool. He got to be a part of that. And that was pretty neat seeing the fans basically sing Chris Jericho to the ring. So I think we got some crow to eat here on the Figure 4 segment this week. Last week we were all basically super pessimistic. And I think the consensus for us was that the new gen ring was going to get made, but it was going to, crawl across the finish line for 5,000
They were going to have to throw in all the
like,
extras.
Cool running style. But Friday, man, Friday was the last day of the Macho Man Early Bird Special. And it just started up, you'd see, okay, we're getting 50 people an hour. Then we're getting 100 people an hour. Then 200. And it was just that wave just went up and it became a freaking tsunami. And next thing you know, we ended up smashing past 8,000 on Friday night. It's funny how much that early bird special really ended up happening because I checked today and I think it's only at like 8,060. So basically, like there were 8,000 people who really fucking wanted to make every tier of this thing happen. And it's been dead for the last week, but thank God it's funded. We had it. Marco, what were kind of your thoughts, man, as Friday went down and we saw us just crush through all the different tiers of the crowdfunding project?
I mean, I was I think I was kind of a part of that last like wave of people. I think I tweeted out the link because it was close. It was really close to being funded first and foremost. Just getting that first 5,000. And I tweeted out a link, to be like, hey, let's get this done. And just in a matter of, so I'm taking credit for hitting the first.
The Chick Foley Show Twitter followers made it happen.
I did the math. Because there's like a thing where you can because I did it was like the short link, like the Bitly link for it. Yeah. You can see how many people interact with the link, and it was around like 300 people that clicked that link. So 300 times 250.
Hey man,
I mean,
numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. But I was it was a roller coaster of a day. I mean, just seeing it hit that and then continuing, like even then, Doink obviously eventually happened, and then the ring skirts had just like. Yeah, it was really an exciting day.
Yeah, it was crowdfunding 101. We talked about that last week, how the issue with the timing and everything made it so dead at the start. Mm-hmm. And then nobody wants to be the dumbass who's like, yeah, I was one of the 1,000 people that backed this thing when even though it crashed and burned, but once it got successful, everybody wanted to be a part of it. And dude, the last 3,000 flew by. Like we hit 5K and then it was like, all right, let's go get Doink. And we got Doink and I forgot to even check it after that. And then sure shit, like an hour later I looked and it's like, we're getting the ring skirts too. So it's pretty awesome. The early bird thing with adding the Macho Man figure in, I think that really made all the difference. Sheen, I'm going to put you on the spot to shoot a little bit on our good friends at Mattel. Well, we got one good friend. Action Figure Attack's a good friend. Bill's kind of a enemy of the show. Big Shot Bill. We're still ready to welcome you back, Bill, with open arms. If you just unblock Sheena.
Just unblock me. I just post. I didn't even do anything to you, man.
Was Mattel good? Was this all strategic? Did they know from the start that they were going to drop this surprise Macho Man figure on us and get this thing funded? Or were they just lucky and scrambling and ended up hitting on something that connected with the figure community? What do you think?
They were scrambling, dude. There's no way that they were like, oh, we're gonna throw in this early bird special. If this thing had taken off like a freaking rocket, dude, like that Macho Man, I think that Macho Man was already in the works. It would have come out eventually, but I feel like they were like, we got to do something, man. Like we got to make this happen. So they went ahead and just tossed it in. We talked about, we're not going to rehash all the things that we thought could have made this a better launch, but they got lucky, and they had such huge support from the major bros and a lot of other people in the figure community really pushing this thing and kind of like bringing people together to fund it. So and I feel like they just got lucky. And like you said, Seth, like once people saw that like the potential for it to actually be funded was there, I think a lot more people were willing to open up their wallets. I think it was just really just a matter of like people not wanting to like give Mattel a free $250 loan for like a month and a half. You know what I mean? So once they saw that it was actually going to happen, they cashed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the other thing too is I think they did a pretty decent job in pivoting too from and listening to what people had to say when it came to actually making this happen. Like you said, giving them $250 is a lot. So they made that adjustment that it wasn't going to be taken right away. Just like when it was fully backed and when the actual backing ends, that's when it will be deducted. I think there was like Klarna too, if you've heard of that like you can do like in payments.
Oh yeah, the payments.
You can actually, basically like a zero interest payment system.
Yeah, so you could do that as well. You could actually sign into the Klarna app, and it lets you link the website to Klarna, and you can actually set up the payments that way. So it was pretty much, they made it pretty like I said, they pivoted
they made it much more consumer friendly over the course of a few weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just like Sheena said, a lot of podcasts out there backed it, and the major bros, you had Fully Posable out there tweeting about it. Myself, so you're tweeting about it. Wrestling Figure News Source. Who else? There's just a ton of different podcasts out there, and any all figure collectors out there just retweeting it, and especially in those last couple of days of the Macho Man early bird special.
And Action Figure Attack was making the podcast rounds too.
He was going.
We talked to him. We were like, we don't really do interviews. Yeah, really, we don't really do interviews. But if we did, we would definitely have you on. He's like, well, if you're ready to talk, let me know. We'll talk about it.
We felt like we had to acknowledge it because he was going on so many podcasts, and he has been such a big supporter of of us on Instagram and Twitter and the show in general. Like. Yeah, Sheena had to reach out to let him know, like, hey, dude, like,
we're not inviting you on.
Yeah,
we just really don't do interviews. That's never really been our thing, man. So, Sheen, I'll kick it back over to you, man. So we're getting a ring, probably the best, toy ring we've ever gotten. Mm-hmm. We're getting an entrance stage, and we're getting Ultimate Edition Macho Man, Diesel, and Doink. Which item on this set are you most excited for?
I think I'm most excited for the neon entranceway. I think that's going to be like just a really cool like piece for people's arena setups and things like that. It's just such an iconic piece, and the fact that it actually lights up is just epic. So I'm really excited to see that in person and to get that in hand. So that's probably the piece I'm most excited about. I mean, the ring is going to be cool. It's going to be the best ring that any of us have ever had, but a ring is a ring for the most part. You know what I mean? But I think that's really like a unique piece. I mean, we loved it so much that we got a custom one made a few years ago. So
cardboard,
it still looks really nice. I mean, it's like a really nice piece, but it's cardboard. So I'm excited.
It's gonna be neat to get an actual light up.
It does have the WWF logo on it though, which I think is definitely makes it a little bit more superior than the one.
There were a lot
of
people in the WrestleFigs forums who that was like the reason they weren't backing this. They hated just the W logo for the the authenticity factor.
I mean, you have to accept it at this point.
It's been almost 20 years since we lost.
Get over it.
Got the F out.
So come on.
You gotta get over this point. Marco, how about you? Which item are you most excited for out of the set?
Oh man, obviously I love Macho Man, one of my favorites. Love Diesel, also I'm a Diesel mark as well. But Doink in Ultimate Edition form, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think you were ever gonna get that in the main line, like the main retail line.
And those head sculpts
of
are
the Ultimate
crazy,
Editions.
man, with the
The head
expressions and
sculpts
stuff he has.
you get all the different Doinks. You get the
Mhm.
happy, first appearing Doink. You get like the, kind of like the almost disheveled Doink, and then you get the really disheveled with the scraggly hair and the
Scary
Yeah.
sad
Doink.
face and everything. The mallet. Oh man, it's gonna be cool. The only thing they can really top it off is to have some type of like water squirting flower.
No, they
somehow
need
in
to
the-
have
in the jacket or
have
something like
Dink, dude.
or
If
Dink,
it, if,
yeah,
if,
that'd
it,
be
if it
cool.
would have
hit
been
up Action
Ultimate
Figure
Edition
Attack.
with Dink,
Yeah. They should have made a 9K stretch goal to get a Dink Ultimate Edition. That would have been
That'd
awesome.
be pretty awesome. But yeah,
But yeah,
I'm just happy.
that Doink figure is insane, dude.
Yeah, I'm just happy he's actually. Like I said, that's the only way you're gonna get a Ultimate Edition Doink. Like I don't think they were gonna. That was like in the plans for.
Do you
Maybe
have
it
the
was.
Elite
Who knows?
Doink?
Yes, yeah, I have
Marco,
the
you do?
Elite Doink.
Okay.
Elite
Yeah,
34. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. But yeah, it was that one actually. That one sold me more than anything, even the ring. So I was like, "Holy crap!" I mean, when Bill put the mallet in the ring when that
Mhm.
wasn't even announced yet, I was like, "Oh man, we get an ultimate a UE Doink." Like he doesn't
Yeah.
even belong with.
He
Just
does.
think of
Yeah,
all the other
he's
ultimate
not-
He's
editions that
he's gonna be
Yeah.
sticking out like a sore thumb,
prestigious.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, The Rock,
man.
Triple
And then
H.
Doink.
and now I'm doing.
Yeah, that figure
This
never
is
would have
great. I
happened
love
without
it.
this crowdfunding project. So very
Yeah.
cool. Speaking of which, Action Figure Attack has indicated that because this one was a success, there will be more crowdfunding projects, but the next one will not involve a ring. So let's do some fantasy booking
Yeah.
here. Sheena, what do you want the
Oh.
next crowdfunding project to be?
Maybe we'll get like an actual like functioning like Titantron that's got like, everybody's entrances like preloaded in it,
Oh,
and
that'd be cool.
yeah, be like a screen with everybody's like, little what do you call those? They're Titantron
They're Tron.
package.
Yeah, they're Tron.
Yeah.
That's what you call them. Yeah, that would be very, very neat. I want the full set though. If we're getting that, we're gonna have to get like Raw's War ring skirts to go with our ring,
Yeah.
the ramp and everything. I want the full entrance. That would be dope because the original Titantron, like 90 late 96, 97 Raw entrance. That's probably my favorite ever entrance set. It just looks so pardon the pun, raw.
I knew you were going to say Raw.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. How about you, Marco? What do you want to see for the next crowdfunding project?
If it's not a ring and it's another set, I think you have to go with the old school SmackDown fist, like an actual metal, not plastic, like an actual replica of the set, metal ramp, everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, just with the little screen on the so
The
you
little
can still have
oval
the
screen on the
Titantron.
side. Yeah.
Yep, you still have the Titantron with all the videos and stuff like that. Just that, I think that'd be pretty awesome. I think that's. I mean, I could probably speak for a lot of people when they like to see that like in miniature form.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We discussed this on part 1 of 3 of the Greatest Tag Teams episode. I would want to see the barbershop set,
Yeah.
give us the
Yeah.
find a way to get Marty Jannetty under contract since it's crowdfunding. That could be part of it. We'll pay to get crazy ass Marty
Oh,
on a
yeah,
deal
definitely.
and give us Brutus, Sean, and Marty figures with the set, a breakaway window. I think that would be so cool. So that would be my pick. Again, sticking with Mattel Creations, that's pretty much it for figure news this week. It's been reported that the new retro box set with Mean Gene, Bob Orton, Roddy Piper, and Mr. T is going to be about $50 on there, and it's going to be basically a pre-order model, so everybody that wants one can get one. Sheena, do you think this is going to be a successful model for retros to be reintroduced to the market?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people would have bought them all individually anyway.
Yeah.
It sucks that it feels like a big ask to fork over $50 right off the bat. But again, I
You're
think
getting 4 figures though.
yeah, I think people would have
Yeah.
bought them individually. I like that it's a pre-order model where it's like everybody that wants one can get one. So there's really not a lot of aftermarket, markup for these things until later down the road. You know what I mean? But like in the immediate future, there's not like a big markup because everybody that actually wanted one had the opportunity. So I like that model.
Marco, who's your most wanted wrestler in Hasbro retro form at this point?
Oh man, they pretty much. I mean, it definitely has to be a female because they haven't had any female retro. And we've talked about this before with how they're built and all that stuff. But I think we have to go with definitely. I mean, if it is going to be one of the female superstars, you probably have to go with Charlotte. I think just to set it off, just to be that first ever. I ideally want them to go really retro and just bring back all the ones from yesteryear. So like redo a Hogan, redo a Macho Man, cool. Ultimate Warrior, and just like mainly just knock down the resale value.
Yeah, of the Hasbros.
With all the, just bring them all back out again, like series, like the whole series again. Just go really, really retro, and because they're doing it now with these ones, it's all old school figures. So I'd say just continue and just bring everyone back. Do the Rockers. Well, actually, you can't do the Rockers. You can do Shawn Michaels. You can do one half of the Rockers, if anything. But yeah, that's what
I want to see a King Mabel. He was supposed to be in the Orange Card series. The last set of Hasbros that got canceled. It seems like he should be under contract. We got a King Mabel figure back in 2019. And then we got Viscera last year. So I think King Mabel could be very, very cool in the Hasbro line. We're getting Jeff Jarrett through the Zombie Sailor heels and faces.
Yeah, we know somebody. That can make King Mabel if ZST, if you're listening, lock that down if he isn't locked down already.
Sheen, how about you? Who do you want to see in Hasbro form?
Yeah, I was going to say we need some women. And since Marco picked Charlotte, I'll say we need a Becky Lynch retro. So we need the man.
All right, let's go to our weekly purchases. Marco, what did you add to your collection this week?
Mostly, I actually have them right next to me. So mostly a lot of the legends. I actually traveled to Target to pick up some things. Went down the toy aisle. Ended up seeing.
Wait! I just noticed something. Are you wearing a Cody shirt?
Yes, I am wearing a Cody shirt.
Okay, we're done here. Let me find where's the boot button. Let me get Marco
just blur it.
Gene, we're going to be finishing the show, just the two of us this week.
Yeah, we'll blur it out in post production.
Right. Go ahead, Marco. We'll let it pass.
But it's not Cody. It's not Cody Rhodes. It could be Cody from Zach and Cody, Zach and Cody's Sweet Life, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so I grabbed the BJS Big John Stud.
Oh,
I'm sure if you can see it, the lights
great
kind of
figure.
blocking it, but yeah, grab the Big John Stud there. Also found just on the shelf right behind it another Macho Man.
Ooh, yeah. You found both those at the same Target?
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. And then I had a shipment from the Fig God himself. And that was pretty much the rest of them. So I'm just gonna.
He's the affiliate, the unofficial fourth member of the Chick.
These right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there are two machos.
Is there a Chase Macho mixed in that?
There is a Chase Macho here. Yeah. So,
yeah. Jordan's been killing it finding those chases.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that's actually this one right here. You can see different headband there, but yeah. And this you could probably make this we were talking about. Well, we'll give you a little sneak preview. We talked about this with the Mega Powers. Since we're in the yellow tights, you can kind of make this a Mega Powers, a Macho Man, if anything.
Yeah,
close
you
to
could probably work that out.
Yeah, but yeah, those are my pickups. Just pretty much the whole Legends line.
Nice. So we added one figure. Sheena's got it ready to show off. We got from our good friends Kevin and Eric up in Canada, the Mild-Mannered Canadian Collectors Podcast. They hooked us up with Colonel Mustafa. Very cool figure. I'm hoping somehow, some way we get General Adnan also. We know we got heel Sergeant Slaughter coming in Elite 89 to complete the trio from SummerSlam 91. So neat figure though. And then we got a huge belt haul from Forbidden Figurines. Sheena was calling me the Kenny Omega of toy belts. So I'll show them off real quick. We got I think the glare may do me in on this, but we got the white and green TNT title from
nice
from Miro.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me take out a tag and see if I can get a decent shot of it for our viewers on YouTube. If anybody has not, it does sound weird. If anybody has not picked up anything from Forbidden Figurines, you need to do it. She is the absolute best belt maker in the biz.
I think I have to.
Yeah, she somehow ended up getting the white and green TNT title out. Literally, like the night he debuted,
it was the night of.
Somehow had it for sale. Got the Impact, the white strap Impact title.
Sweet.
Lucha Underground, the Gift of the Gods belt.
That's an
Got
awesome
the
belt.
AAA belt that Kenny Omega's holding right now that he defended against Andrade on Saturday night, and then the classic, the big gold WCW by Forbidden Figurines. So hit her
Nice.
up, forbiddenfigurines.com. She's the best in the biz at making belts. It's just these are little miniature like works of art. Very
Yeah.
very cool. So pretty much anything she puts out, we will definitely add to the collection. Let's hear from Extra Cooler.
Hey everyone, it's Nick, better known as Extra Cooler. Is there anything better than diving back into the wrestling archives and watching classic matches from the past? Yes, there is. It's doing that with your buddies while cracking jokes and enjoying some ice-cold beverages. If that sounds like fun to you, then be sure to check out my new podcast, The Extra Cooler Show, where each episode, my Survivor Series team and I review an old-school match chosen by you, the listeners. The Extra Cooler Show is available wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to subscribe and follow us for new episodes every other Thursday morning.
All right, it's time.
Throw my
for
shoulder out like
How
Sammy.
Many chicks? Yeah, that's what I think every time when he does that.
Yes.
That thing right there.
I-
Yeah, he
so
had
it's
Bret
only-
Hart.
I will never forget that. I will
Yeah,
never
they brought
forgive
Bret
him for
Hart
that.
out to introduce him in Montreal for the United
Yes, man.
States Open Championship against John Cena. I mean, it really doesn't get much bigger than that for your debut, and he somehow
He
throws
took
his
himself
shoulder
out on the entrance ramp.
Yeah, I was only laughing during the Extra Cooler thing because I was thinking of the because I said I hope when they're not doing the same thing they were when they were young men and after watching pay-per-views just fighting each other and pulling off wrestling moves, but I was proven wrong.
Yeah,
And
they sent us in our group chat that we have with them. They sent us some pictures and stuff of Nick having. I can't remember if it was Jim or Mike. He had him in a figure four.
Figure
so,
four, yeah. So
yeah.
they still do it, yeah. So I underestimated those guys, but yeah, that's why I was laughing during it.
All right, so it's time for How Many Chicks. So this is where I randomly select a figure from our 1,000+ wrestling figure collection. Sheena has no idea what it is. Hold up the Undertaker's casket, Sheen. We got the casket playset from Ringside Collectibles. There's a mystery figure in there. I'm gonna hit the drum roll. Sheena's gonna reveal it, and we're gonna do a live review and give it from 0.0 to 5.0. So Sheena, you ready to reveal the figure for this week?
Let's go.
All right, here goes the drums. And it is
Opening the casket. Oh, we have the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar retro figure. I'm
That
sorry,
theme
but if you don't like
goes.
that music, if that music don't
Yeah,
get you
yeah.
right, you have no soul. I used
I
to
think
when we used to
especially for
run,
people
I would
our
my
age-
last mile, I would like hit that music and it would like push me through my last mile on my run.
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, and for people our age, I mean that's basically like the Limp Bizkit sound right there. It's like a Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit
Oh, yeah.
like
That
outtake
was-
instrumental
Yeah.
or whatever. So yeah,
I
this
almost
is
kicked
retro.
over my table.
This is this is retro Brock Lesnar. He was from Series 1 of the Mattel Retros, the re-release of the Hasbros. So obviously there were a lot of issues with that line. That's why it's gone away for a few years before finally coming back. But he was in the first wave coming back. Sheena, give us kind of your thoughts on this figure.
They did a good job. Face sculpt looks just like Brock. So used to saying Brett like 1,000 times a day, just rolls off the tongue. Looks just like Brock. Got his sword tattoos. Got a lot of his tattoo detailing. Black black shorts with his Brock Lesnar logo, black boots, and black gloves. I mean, pretty decent representation of Brock, I would say. Nothing too special about it.
To me, I think he represents a lot of the problems with the retro line and why it was ultimately a failure. So the thing about the Hasbro line, those figures were super colorful and bright, which was a little bit of that is the product of the time they were in, but it was also the attires that Hasbro chose. Like Robert Rudo, who was in charge of the Hasbro actually design of the figures, he was always picking super colorful attires. Like, I think one thing that really helps wrestling figure lines is if you can create the figures in a way that even a kid who may not be a wrestling fan, if he's walking down the toy aisle, if he sees them and he's like, oh, that's a really cool figure, I want it. I don't know why, but I want it. And I think with the Hasbro line, or excuse me, with the Mattel Retro line, they picked a lot of really kind of basic ass attires. There's so many guys in black gear. You had
Seth Rollins was in black, Undertaker was in black,
even the Cena
Roman
figure
was in black.
Yeah, Cena figure was in black shorts with just a green hat. Roman's all black. You had Undertaker in Series 1. You had that Doom series that really, I think the series that really killed that line was Seth when he was in the black and gray. You had Goldberg. You had AJ in predominantly black pants, and then a Dean Ambrose figure. Remember, that set sat on Target shelves for like years. I'm pretty sure you could probably still find a few random Targets out there that had those figures sitting there. And I think that's what killed them. They were just, it was really kind of boring design. The figures weren't bad. Like even that, hold that Brock up to the camera again, Sheen. It's accurate. It's a good head sculpt. It looks like Brock, but they were just boring. I think a lot of the Mattel retro offerings were just boring more than anything else. What do you think, Marco? What's your overall take on that Brock Lesnar figure specifically, and just the Mattel retro line in general?
I think you hit the nail on the head with that. With just the just the color schemes. Brock Lesnar wore red shorts at one point. Why not?
I was going to say the red shorts would have been a much better
red
choice.
Shorts. AJ Styles had he has totally tons of different color schemes that they could have went with besides just like all black. Dean Ambrose, I mean, you really can't do much. I mean, just a white tank top and the blue jeans. I mean, that's colorful enough in that sense. But Seth Rollins, you could have definitely done something with. Roman Reigns, not so much. John Cena, blue.
They just shouldn't have put them
jeans.
all in the same series. I mean, it's fine. I know. Seth wears predominantly black. Roman
just mix them up though.
Mix them up.
Mix them up.
Exactly.
Cena, you can throw on like the camo shorts or something. Just
camo shorts and blue, even blue.
Throw
some
color on there.
The denim shorts. You could have done that. The jorts, yes. So like I was just thinking of like New Day. New Day was perfect for a retro line just because they're colorful, they pop.
But those didn't come around until series, I think 5 or 6, and the line was already dying off at that point.
Yeah, they should have like you said, kind of like not maybe put New Day all in like maybe one line, just maybe put them in each. Just like you said, just make it colorful, make them pop, make them because they're technically kids' toys. So like one thing that kids love is like colors, and I mean I. Just said, full transparency. I have my figure room. Kids always go in there. They go for the most colorful figures that are on the shelf.
100%, man.
Naomi
is.
with that
exactly
the glow in the dark jacket that she has. They go right for it. They want to grab it. Ultimate Warrior. I think I have like good thing I have like multiple Ultimate Warriors because that's the first thing they go for is Ultimate Warrior because he's colorful and he has all these different.
I used to nanny for these kids, and I would bring them up to our figure room, and like Macho Man was like one of the first ones they would always grab. They loved all the Macho Man figures.
Yeah,
remember they thought he was a fireman because of his cowboy hat.
He said, "Oh, he's a fireman." He said he's got fire on his hat and his tummy.
That's actually funny. But like I said, I was kind of like like the dream retro line would be like to basically go back and bring back the older ones because I think it would definitely help out with all the different like the colorful characters that were back in
and I know the
80s,
purpose of this
90s.
line was to get some modern superstars in that Hasbro form. I just think it was just kind of a misstep. They just. The biggest stars of that time that they thought would sell, like Brock and Seth and Undertaker and John Cena and everybody, like they just weren't the most toyetic per se,
Exactly.
All right, let's hit the rankings. Marco, you can go first. You got 0.0 to 5.0. What are you rating Brock Lesnar's retro figure?
I mean, it pretty much looks exactly like him. They got the body is pretty much perfect. The hand size. They didn't fail on that. His hands are huge. I remember like the UFC they had to make custom gloves for him because they didn't have that size. So I mean, other than that, I mean, I'll give it a mainly because it's black shorts. Because you're talking about the color scheme. I'm gonna give it we'll go 3.5. We'll go 3.5.
3.5. Okay,
Yeah.
that is actually the third highest score you've given on how many chicks so far.
Oh, nice.
I will give it a 2.5. I think I'll give it a 2.5 because it is accurate. As if you're gonna make a black shorts Brock retro figure,
Yep.
I think it hits the mark. I'm gonna keep it at a 2.5 though. It could have been higher. I think it should have had the same action as John Cena. John Cena had like a torso swivel similar to the Ultimate Edition figures for doing the AA, and I think they should have
Yeah.
given Brock the same action for doing the F5. He's got kind of
Yeah.
the Series 2 Ultimate Warrior
The
like gorilla
Warrior.
press motion
Yep.
for his action.
But it could be used for suplexing. You know what I mean? Like he's got
Yeah,
a
true.
suplexing
But I
action.
mean, F5 is
Suplex
finisher,
City.
so I kind of
True.
Yeah.
I judge the retros and like LJNs and Galoob figures on how able they are to do their finishing move, because that's really what you want.
Okay.
If you're only going to be able to do one move.
Hey,
So
Brock's gonna take you to Suplex City, bitch. You know what I mean?
he is,
Yeah.
but he's
I
still
hope
going
he
to have to
I
finish
hope
you
he
off
hears
with the
this.
F5. So he's a 2.5 for me. Sheena, what do you rate Brock Lesnar's retro figure?
Yeah, you guys were way more like generous than I was. I was gonna say 2, but now you guys made me think like I was being a little bit harsh. So yeah, I'll stick with it. I'm gonna say 2 again for all the same reasons. It's just a little boring, a little lackluster. It is accurate. It looks just like Brett again. Looks just like Brock. But yeah, I'm gonna go with 2 just for like lack of toyeticness.
All right, so Brock's going to average out at a 2.7, which means out of the 6 figures we've done for how many chicks since we did the reboot, because Sheena just threw our scale totally out the window, Brock is the second lowest. So he ranks number 5 out of 6 that we've done. So I think he's a passing figure. He fills a hole in the collection. If you need a retro / Hasbro Brock, but he's nothing you're going to write home about, nothing memorable. And that's really all that needs to be said about Brock Lesnar's retro figure. Sheen, do we got some listener mail for this week?
We do. All right, we're going to start with a couple of questions from our good buddy Charles Messing. He says, with the collection you keep, this is specifically for you, Seth. He says, I believe you rotate the ones you display. How often do you do this, and how often do they fall down? LOL.
So I rotate them typically I aim for once a month. Usually it ends up being about once every month and a half because I keep a little reminder on my phone so it'll go off that it's time to rotate them, but it usually ends up being another week and a half after that before I really get a chance to sit down and do it, because it takes some time. It's a shitload of figures to go through. It's a hobby that requires management, when you have that many figures. As far as falling down, there's some figures that have issues. Really, the older ones, like anything from Elite series, like 1 through 10, or the original Legends, those ankles were pretty weak. So you have to pose them in a certain way. Those will fall down, but for the most part, I don't have too many issues. So it's kind of just one-offs. There's certain figures that I know have issues standing up, but for the most part, that's not really too much of a problem, unless somebody wants to go in and just start rumbling in the figure room.
All right. Another question for you, Seth, from Charles. He says, are you all done with your Hasbro collection from the 90s? If not, who are you missing?
Yep, we're all set. I have the last couple are on the way from the UK, which that's a big tip for anybody that's putting together a Hasbro collection. For whatever reason, those last few sets, the distribution was way better over in the UK. So reach out to those. Turn on international listings on your eBay searches if you're looking for the last few figures for your set, because you can find a lot cheaper prices. Don't get scared off by those shipping costs, because if you actually do the math on it, it's still a lot cheaper to pull in those last few figures from the UK. So I got a few on the way, and yeah, I'm all set. Now I'm focusing on grabbing these the Zombie Sailor toys and the revival of the Mattel Retro line.
Yep.
All right. This one comes in from the fig god himself, Jordan Wells. He says, if you could have Chalkline make one pair of shorts or a jacket, what are you picking? Hopefully they're listening. So I'll kick it to you first, Marco.
I mean, this is purely for joking reasons, but Ahmed Johnson. You got to go with some Ahmed Johnson with a bunch of just like the red with a bunch of like the all those knee pads he used to wear, like all the way up his thigh. Try to recreate that would be pretty be pretty awesome. I mean, I'm joking / serious. So if they ever did Ahmed Johnson chalk line shorts, I'd definitely be in line to purchase those.
Seth?
I'll tie in with the how many chicks segment. We need some chalk line Brock Lesnar shorts. You know, give me
And
the
Kevin
Brock
Owens.
Lesnar logo, the
Kevin
Jimmy
Owens.
John's logo, all that stuff. You know, so I think that would be cool. KO would be sweet too. You know, the fact that WWE Shop put out some KO shorts and chalk line hasn't yet. I think that's a little bit of a disgrace. So yeah, KO would be cool. But if I had one pick, I want some Brock Lesnar chalk line shorts.
I'm going a little bit off the rails here. I'm going to go with a jacket, and this is something that I've like personally asked Chalkline about. So hopefully, you know, with the holiday season around the corner, we see this pop up. But I want a Kenosha Kickers jacket from Home Alone. You know, I want the yellow jacket with polka. Yeah, I want the exact replica of the John Candy jacket from Home Alone, because they did have a Home Alone license for a little while. They did the little Nero's, replicas, jackets, and hats and things like that.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Maybe they still have that Home Alone license and they can make the Kenosha Kickers jacket. So that's what I'm going to go with. This one is from
Nice.
Chris Licito. He says, with AEW trading cards hitting the market soon, do you guys have any interest in them? Cheers. Marco, I'll
I'm
kick it
not
to you
messing
first.
with trading cards, man.
Yeah.
It's just that's a rabbit hole I'm not going down. Marco,
I don't think you are either, right?
I think they're already sold. I mean, I have some trading cards that I've collected. I still have I pretty much have all my basketball cards and stuff like that. Not many wrestling ones. I have a few. But yeah, that might be. I mean, especially if they're gonna pre-order they're gonna sell out before they even hit the website, essentially. So
yeah, this is not a rabbit hole I'm going down either. The trading card, people are just too hardcore about that. Then actually make any money, you have to send them off and like get them graded and all that stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not for me, man. It's a no from me. But to all the people who are excited about their cards, more power to you. This is our last question for today. It's going to come in from Brian Vermier. That's what I'm going to call his name. I'm sure I butchered that. It's Vermeire. So Brian, please correct me with the phonetic spelling of your last name. But I'm going to make it all fancy. He says, "Why is cooking chicken so hard? 12 minutes, perfectly juicy cooked chicken. 12 minutes and 13 seconds, dry as the desert."
What?
So, as your resident
pass
chef,
on that one, yeah,
as
what
your
kind
resident
of chicken
chef,
is he cooking?
I'm gonna go with you need to get yourself a sous vide, man. You need to get yourself a water bath cooker, dude. That is the best way to cook, especially chicken breast. First of all, if you're eating the chicken breast, you're probably not doing yourself a favor anyway. You need to get that thigh meat. You know what I mean? It's stay juicy. So
juicy thigh
Brian,
meat.
if you're out there eating that, dry ass chicken breast, the best way to cook that is in a sous vide. You get yourself a nice little stasher bag, drop that down in the low temperature water. It keeps all of its juices. You can't overcook it. You put a little sear on it after you get it out of the water bath, and it's freaking money. So
I actually think the best way to cook the chicken breast is to take it out of the fridge, throw it in the trash, drive to the grocery, get a 6-pack of Miller Lite and a pack of chicken thighs, and then come back and cook those instead. I think that's the proper preparation.
Or just get some
Boston
Boston Market, dude. If you have it in your area, just
some people have cholesterol issues and things like that they're trying to manage. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna shit on anybody for eating chicken breast, and I don't hate chicken breast. I just don't prefer chicken breast.
I mean, if it's like deep fried, like Chick-fil-A or some sort of chicken sandwich, I'm all about it. But like
how many chicken nuggets and
fried,
chicken
though,
tenders have you eaten, Seth? You eat breast meat.
But not just straight up like grilled or like oven baked chicken breast. Is just like,
well, no. Who eats oven baked chicken breast? Is anybody at this podcast? I consider myself a pretty healthy person. I'm a very conscious person. I treat myself every once in a while, but I consider myself a healthy person, and I don't even eat oven baked chicken breast. But yeah, sous vide. Get yourself. I like the Jewel. That is my preferred sous vide. So get yourself a Jewel out there. Yeah, and his name is Food Love. You get to program a name in the app. So he's Food Love is my Jewel's name. So that is all of our listener mail for this week. We have some more questions. I'll get to them next week if you sent in listener mail. I didn't forget about you.
All right, Sheena, remind the listeners where they can find you guys on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Chick Foley, Marco running the Twitter machine over at Chick Foley Show, and join all of the fun and shenanigans over at chickfoleyshow.com with our Facebook group. We're going to have a brand new Foley Picks League kicking off after SummerSlam, so definitely get in before we do that, because that's been a lot of fun.
Yep. We want to remind you guys to use code Chick Foley to save 10% on all of your orders at Ringside Collectibles. Send us proof of yourself listening to this week's show to enter for the giveaway for The Miz. And Marco, hit us with the closing words for episode 141 of the Chick Foley Show.
I mean, since I'm technically the reigning defending Chick Foley prediction champion
For the foreseeable future.
We're not going to acknowledge the Picks League. We're just gonna acknowledge me. That's all.
Okay.
Just acknowledge me as a champion. That's the closing words.
Never.
That's it.